Alright guys, hey, this is Greenwood. I'm up here in the layout room and it's quite a mess because I've been working on for the down and dirty freight car weathering contest. And I've got video 2 done. I recently uploaded that. So, but this video that you're about to see, this is the painting of the Flatcar, the crane tender that I entered into the down and dirty contest. It's nothing fancy. It's very basic, step by step. You know how I painted. I used these acrylic paints. They're cheap. You can buy them for less than $1 a bottle. Matter of fact, some of these are very old. I probably need to get new ones. So, and some other basic tools and things like that. So it's like a thing for, you know, if somebody's wanting to get into it and stuff like that. There will be 2 parts. This will be part 1. At the end, you look down in the description, there'll be a link to part 2. That's the way I've been doing it. I can do the end cards, but I just didn't feel like doing it. Felt like going this way. So, hope you guys enjoy. If you want to get into it, you know, build models if you never have, or if you haven't done it very much. I haven't done it since the 70s. I've done it in the 70s, around the 80s. I kind of got out of it for a while. So I've kind of been coming back, and things have changed since the last time I did it. But anyway, without further ado, here is Painting the Flatcar, Part 1. Roll it, Steve. Alright, everybody. This is Ralph Greenwood. We're up in the train room here. I've got a flat car that I want to paint. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure no oil or anything on this. I want to do it the quick and easy way. So I've just got an alcohol pad. I'm kind of working the alcohol pad in and out of here. I'm not too worried about this surface here. I'm more worried about the sides. Matter of fact, I'll handle it like that. I've got the brake wheel removed. So I'm just going. I'm going to lay that down. Lay this down on my towel here. I've got the top deck of this flat car. It's simulated wood. I'm going to do some work on that. I'm going to do these side panels. It's still pretty good. Still got some alcohol on there. I'm just doing this real quick because I don't want to have to bring water up here. Otherwise, I would just mix up some soapy water and do it. But right there it is. I'm going to let those sit there for a few minutes. Okay. Right here, I've got a, this is a burnishing tool. It's fiberglass strands. This one, there's another guy who's in the down and dirty weathering contest. He's got one of these. He got his on Amazon. You see, you twist this. This is adjust this in case you want only slight resistance or you want a lot of resistance to really scratch good. I'm going to use this to go around, and I'm going to dress up the edges and corners and make sure there's no flash. I see a little bit here, and I've also got a file. This looks pretty, yeah, I think I can just brush that, the rest of that. Now, I'm going to go along here. I'm kind of removing some of the gloss on this plastic to help the paint adhere better. This little tool like this is very good for doing this. It will do that, and it will, if there is, you can see there is like rivet detail here. It's not rubbing out the rivet detail, but it is taking some of the gloss off. Because, and I want to do that because I'm going to put an undercoat on this. There's going to be a rust color, and then I'm going to cover it with like a Pen Central green. I'm not too worried about underneath. I will dash through there. I'm not too worried about underneath the car. It will be painted a flat black, so it won't be shiny, but otherwise from that, I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom. Okay, I've got this side done. I'm going to work a little bit more on, I'm going to get this part all done, and then I'll be working on this part here. I'll be going across here and getting the gloss off of it, and I'll do the same with these panels, and we'll be back. Okay, now I've got the bottom of this car painted black. It did pretty good, actually. There's still a few, I went back and touched up again on top of this cylinder. There was a little orange spot. I see one right there. But for the most part, that's covered. And I got that. I may not do anything else with that, since that is the underside. Okay. You saw where I mixed that paint, and I put that King's Gold, the King's Gold and the other brown. I didn't like the way it looked. It was too yellowy. I want more of a brown, like a darker brown. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got nutmeg brown. And I'm going to add a shot of jet black to it to try to get like a dark brown. Two glops of that. A little glop of this black in there. And see what we come up with here. That's a very dark brown. Now we're getting a little lighter. I could try white, but I don't want to. Boy, this black is pretty powerful. Okay, now we're still like a dark brown. That black has taken. Well, that black, you only need so much of that to darken it. Okay, I think this is about getting to where we want it. This looks kind of like a like aged wood, like older wood. I thin this a little bit with some water. There's some water. Let that run into that. Kind of a brown, kind of green. Yeah. Yes, it's a lot darker than the other one. It is going on a little easier since I thinned it with just a little bit of water. Had some puddling there I had to take care of. Okay, I'm going to finish on these and I'll get back with you. This is looking much better. Alright. I'm just showing you what this looks like. This is the this is the mixture of nutmeg brown, and black. And I got it brushed on there. And so I'm just showing you what that looks like. And I did these. I'll show you one of these side panels that I did. I'll have to put another coat on that. And one thing I did, because I thinned this paint out, and then once I got it on there, I let it sit for a few minutes till it started almost drying, and then I took a damp brush and just went by and just picked off the excess. Okay, so it still looks, it's still going to get another coat, but I'm showing you that. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to do the second coat right now. Okay. You see that there? I've got 4 or 5 coats on there. Pretty well coated. I'm basically done with this for right at the point. What I want to do here is make sure that brush is the right size. I have to come back and clean that up. I've got a rust color here. And I'm putting a little bit on these steel bands. Like I said, I'm going to have to come back with a I'm only going to do go along the top of this. A little bit of paint at a time. Oh boy, I'm going to have to, yeah. Basically get it on there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now I did that one. I'm not going to worry about doing these little nail heads, or these. These are probably supposed to be carriage bolts that are put through there. I'm not going to worry about hitting them. You see that? Where I did that rust. Now, I'm going to come back shortly before this paint is already all dry with a damp brush and touch up here. I'll get rid of some of the parts where I don't want to rush paint. Right now I want to get it way too much on there. If your brush looks like a drop of water, you've got way too much paint on it. See there, I kind of smudged. I will come back and touch that up. All of this that I'm doing here is going to get covered by Pen Central Green. See, like right there, I'm going to have to come back and touch that up. And that one. Let's do this top rail. Okay, now I'm going to lay that down for a minute. Turn this camera off. I'm going to get this brush washed out, and I'll show you how I touch up here real quick.